All right, welcome to KayoticVerse. We're gonna be talking about Marty Supreme, the movie, and ultimately, I'm going to just start off by saying that this movie to me was not that great. I took a couple of takes to record this because I didn't know how else to say it. It's not a very impactful movie, and if we're just gonna start off with me just watching the movie, because I don't want, because I'm gonna, we'll get into that. We're gonna just start off by just watching the movie. It is a very chaotic movie where honestly I had to watch him, Marty Supreme, which is supposed to be based on a person named Marty, something like that. It's not gonna be like an exact story, but they're using someone else's identity, I assume. So this guy is very promiscuous, very thoughty, a bird. He's a bop. He he's very self-focused, selfish, conceited, horrible. He screws people over, ruins other people out of their opportunities. Honestly, I'm just gonna get into it because there's no other way to say it. Um, I wouldn't even recommend this movie because there's nothing to learn about this movie besides like chasing your dreams to a point where you are letting old men powder you on the butt so you can go play in a ping pong tournament after you laughed in his face about his son dying in the war is crazy. And after you slept with his wife is crazy. And you got a chick pregnant in a storage room in your relative's shoe store. This movie is terrible. I don't wanna and I really don't wanna say that, but there's no morals in this movie. In Sinners, they had reasonings. They were building something for the community to have. It wasn't just for them. They're allowing other people to go there. As long as whatever they were doing there was legitimately not going to put everybody at risk of getting attacked or killed, especially for that time, it made sense. And this is a movie where we're in the 1952s, and the movie was supposed to be about a Jewish man playing ping pong. I was not aware of this movie's existence until people were making jokes about the movie, and they were like, "Ah, you made $4 million on a $70 to $90 million budget, and no one knows what your movie is about." Because I watched Josh say some things in the interview, like it represents, the Jewish community. I wanted to see Jewish culture, but I don't feel like it was shown a lot in this movie. And I don't. And then he's also saying like it represents the young people of that time. In another in these articles, they're not like talking interviews or like the Guardian interviews and stuff like that. I was like, do you not know that if this movie represents anybody, any demographic or just anybody in America, you made us look crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. You made us look crazy, bro. Because he was having babies out of wedlock. Like, what are you doing in the 1952s? And he has a pretty good job. Like, his family owns a store in 1952. And I'm saying that because Josh brought up a lot of talk about colonialism and capitalism and toxic masculinity. But I watched Marty Supreme capitalize off people, ruin their opportunities, get people pregnant, sleep with their wives. He got people murdered. What? He got people murdered. I kid you not. This movie's chaotic. And the camera work is not impactful. The music, I had to go back and watch the movie because I did not. I had to ask myself, where was the music besides the ending song where everybody wants to rule the world? Yeah. And I didn't even think that song fit for the ending because he didn't even play in the tournament. He worked so hard to go play in a tournament that he crashed out, bro. That's what I'm saying. He crashed out because he lost. He couldn't even handle a loss and he crashed out. And y'all put him on a Wheaties box in real life and he literally took a L and crashed out and got fined $1,000 in 1952. He got fined $1,000, bro. His plane ticket's $700, by the way. He got fined $1,000 1952, 1953 maybe. Either way, I did not like the character himself. I'm not gonna lie. I was happy when he accepted fatherhood at the end. But then I realized when that woman was like, his baby mama, oh my god, she's no better. She had a man, she's cheating on him in the store. She's talking about, I went to the deli to get your sandwich. She's like, what my sandwich code? Well, you can ask, you can go call the deli. She is lying. Her husband or ex-boyfriend, Marty, hit him over the head with an item because the baby mother tried to portray like he was an abusive man. She drew a black eye on her face, and Marty was like fake hurt. And then he goes to tell her, I have a purpose and you don't have a dream. He talks to that woman crazy. And I watched the actual Josh interview where they were talking about anti-heroes. If you, I guess Josh is trying to say this man's a hero. He's on a Wheatie box, so I guess they're trying to uplift him like some idol to be idolized and looked at. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hopefully not. But anyway, there's some talk about a vampire being in the movie. I don't know where that came from. I had slides. Told you I had to do it a couple takes because I did not know how to tell you that this movie was very unimpactful. And there were a couple moments where like his family sabotaged him. I thought that moment should have been impactful, but it was like the start of the movie, so I was like, okay. So then I like this scene. The idea, I like the idea of this movie. I don't like the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I get it, but then I don't get the movie. Because I get where we're like, I get he's trying to play ping pong. I can't even talk. I get he's trying to play ping pong. But I don't want to watch you sell your body and get everybody and sabotage everybody else's life so you can go playing ping pong. It's toxic behavior. Because Josh talked about toxic masculinity, but this man was so toxic, and there's nothing masculine about his behavior. It really wasn't, because masculinity does not get people does not destroy themselves and everybody else around them. His masculinity was not structured. There was no thought, no plan. If anything, he acted like a female the entire time. I didn't want to use the female word, but he acted like a female the entire time. And I can say this, he acted like a total bird the entire movie. I'm just saying, you got a woman pregnant in the storage closet. You were using your best friend's dad to like use your best friend to make you a ping pong, and then use his dad to promote the ping pong. Got a girl pregnant in the storage room. You held a gun to your cousin so you can get your money for the airplane. I felt like you probably should have, because your friend was sabotaging you. He told you that he's gonna give you that money, but he didn't. So I understood that. But like I said, he is holding the gun to his cousin. Cousin just sitting there like me. There's a gun, there was like sell me this a little bit. They sold me that he was unconcerned. I believed it, but there was really no emotion. There wasn't a lot of emotion required in this movie, nor was there a lot of emotion shown from Marty Supreme. And that's also why I didn't understand why Timothy won Best Actor, because I said you didn't have any character growth. I watched you bang an older woman. I watched you have a baby out of wedlock in 1952. I watched you turn down a job to be a store manager in 1952. Whose family is owning their own shoe store in 1952 as a minority? And then you get the chance to like run the store, and you're like, nah, go play ping pong. Cool. Whatever. Anyway. So his cousin's like, fine, only because his relative was going to make Marty the manager, and he realized he'd been working hard only for Marty to get it. So let's proceed on. Gwyneth Paltrow, I liked that Gwyneth was in here. I found her presence very grounding. To put it simply, she drew me in. She did her job well. Felt very grounded. And I will say there was a weird sense of like she was needed, or I don't know. She was needed. That's all I can say. I don't really want to get into like, oh, how I feel. Gwyneth did her thing. That is all I can say. I was glad to see her back out of retirement, and she really did well. I was just kind of upset to see her have to like sleep with Marty Supreme, because what? Yeah, because what? And then he also had K-Stone, who Gwyneth Paltrow is playing. Also had K-Stone steal a piece of jewelry from the set, which I'm pretty sure ruined her marriage. I'm saying Marty was not a good man. The impactful moments were not impactful. They really weren't. They did not last. If you watch the show, if you watch the movie, these moments did not last at all. He just beat a dude in his home country. And Kevin O'Leary showed the pain more than anybody. He was the most hurt. He had more emotion. He had more emotion than Marty, who won. I kid you not. And then I put no sun dodging on the screen because Tyler the Creator said, Tyler the Creator called Timothy Marty Supreme a sun dodger in the movie. And I only watched the movie because when Timothy won, which I thought these were facetious comments at the time and backhanded comments towards sinners, because they said that there's supposed to be vampires in this movie. I said, this is a movie about a Jewish man playing ping pong. Where do vampires get included from? Especially if this is supposed to be based on someone's life. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and watch this interview. This made no sense to me. And I want to go ahead and put it on this slide. When we see vampires, you think they burn the sun, right? Because this is 1952. And they were saying like it could be based off some 80s horror. He's in the sun. They're getting off the sun. And at the crack of dawn, they lost and played we watched Marty Supreme play a whole exhibition in the sun. Where is this vampire stuff you speak of? Oh, like I said, I'm going to play this video. And in this video, he was saying that it was Kevin O'Leary's idea to say the vampire line. Which, if this is your movie, why not seem to kind of include a little bit of that dark art energy you guys mentioned?
How did Kevin O'Leary come to the project?
So Ronnie and I wrote this character.
Because he's great. I love him, by the way.
He's a corporate colonialist, or the first of its kind of post-war carpetbagger, eternal power. You know what I mean? Scary, timeless power that's been around for as long as capitalism has been around. So I was looking at actors. I met with a few. They just were never going to bring what was needed. And Ronnie and I were talking a lot about this character as we wrote it. So I called Ronnie and I was like, what about Shark Tank? And he goes, Mr. Wonderful. Yes, Mr. Wonderful. He goes, that's the only guy we can use off that show.
Yeah, right.
Because he is an asshole. He's a known asshole. He anchors the show.
Yeah.
He's an artist though. He started off as an artist.
Oh, okay.
He edits his own material. He has beautiful cameras that he likes. He loves lenses. He plays the guitar. Very unique, interesting person.
Okay.
And then we went and we met with him over the course of a day. He had the script in his living room, and he had some house guest who had read it twice already, and who was like a probably businessman or something. And that guy loved it, and Kevin loved the script.
Us.
And then when I met with him, he came up with that vampire line. He came up with it because we were meeting with him, and we were trying to figure out how.
Did y'all see that man's face? He said, "Oh." Bro, the line, the way they incorporated the line, and then for you to win an award and tell me that there were supposed to be vampires in it, those had to be backhanded comments towards sinners, because that makes no sense. Let's continue.
How would Kevin O'Leary react to this kid saying to him that money doesn't matter to him? There are other things that are more important. This is fate in front of him.
Yes.
And he goes, I would never do anything that could ever implicate me in any other way. So I would use the dark arts. And I was like, oh man, like how?
Yeah.
And he just said, like, I would look to him and I'd say, Marty, I was born in 1601. I'm a vampire. And I look at Ronnie and we're like, oh my God.
I actually...
what a line. But you saw.
And he said, what a line. I don't know why you even let him say that. And I don't know why you guys made comments at the end of like post-production and releasing of the movie and said this is supposed to have vampires in it. That cannot be true. I really think to a certain degree there's like we're using controversy to really sell this movie. And I'm saying sell because when it comes to sales, you need 175 million globally just to cover production, marketing, and theater cuts. I was only bringing up the numbers because I was going to see if you guys are on track to beat Sinners. There's no way that is ever happening. And I did find out that Timothy did executively produce this movie. I think that's more so maybe with the marketing side, because if anything, hands down, gotta give Timothy his credit for the marketing part. But this movie was not that good. I don't even think Timothy's acting was all that great either. And I'm only saying that because when you played Marty Supreme, there wasn't really a lot of depth of character you had to dig in deep and bring out. All you did was bring all you did was create children out of wedlock and cry at the end of the movie. And when I realized you were only there in the movie because you couldn't go to the tournament. That's what I'm saying. We really think about this. We really think about this movie. It's dumb. Like, you might as well watch a season of 16 and Pregnant. That's why I had to do so many takes. But yeah, I didn't know if Wally got his cab fixed because Marty Supreme completely destroyed it and got people killed in this movie. And I don't know how or why they would put the movie character Marty Supreme on the Wheaties box. That is horrible. I'm not saying that's horrible, like it's that like, and you know what I'm saying, but like the actual character, because what is in the movie is absurd. To put him on a Wheatie box is crazy. You might as well put a real life athlete on the Wheaties box, because the movie guy is terrible and horrible. You got people's TV turned off, bro. You got their head blown. And if you haven't known, compare the earnings to Sinners. Sinners did $368 million globally. All their numbers are pretty much in, as far as I know. Sinners became the first film in history to earn 16 Oscar nominations. And I'm not gonna lie to you, if you ever want to watch Sinners, if you're feel like watch Sinners, I implore you to watch it as soon as possible. I think everybody can relate to it. I didn't want to watch Sinners when it came out. I thought it might have had some overhype to it, but then I watched it and I wish I watched it sooner. I wish I didn't watch it in terms of having to compare it to Marty Supreme, because there was really no comparison. The music was very impactful and it made sense. It was actually a part of people's culture. It was a part of their ancestry. They used the Irish ancestry. Like, it was very beautiful. They used some history in it to make it kind of accurate. It's not going to be fully accurate, but at the end of the day, I loved it. It made me a solidified fan of Michael B. Jordan. There would be no Michael B. Jordan slander at all if you're around me. Great fan. You have to watch Sinners. That's all I can say. I'm not going to really spoil it for you, but I might a little bit. But what I will say about Sinners is I watched Michael B. Jordan play 2.5 characters, Smoke and Stack. If I'm not mistaken, Stack became a vampire. But Vampire Stack and regular Stack were having some character growth. Vampire Stack was more interesting because he had growth post being a vampire, like years and years later. And then Smoke had his own growth too. Even in his own afterlife, he grew. And even like before he died, he grew. And the movie is about love, ancestry, connecting with your purpose, temptation, losing a child, trusting your gut. It's very beautiful. I like how they use a bunch of different aspects of storytelling to tell a story. I just didn't get that in Marty Supreme. I did not get the same emotional impact. I never felt so terrified. I haven't felt terrified from when I watch a horror movie since I watched The Sinners. And I wasn't even supposed to be terrified. They were dancing. They were doing they were doing a 4x4 1-2. I don't know what it was, but they was doing, I can't do it because I'm sitting down. But they were dancing and I was petrified because I said, we're all going to die. I kid you, if you have to watch, I'm not going to spoil it, but when they was dancing, they was singing, I was like, my mouth was wide open. I'm not joking. I was like, what the we're going to die. We're going to die. I was petrified. Anyway, that's pretty much it on the Sinners thing. But you have to watch that movie. It's the camera work, phenomenal, A1. Everybody did their thing in it. Yeah. And reason why I put who is this being marketed for, because when I was looking at this and I do some research, Josh, yeah, you. Let's not start with the slides. This is already kind of weird, because I'm not gonna touch on that. Because I haven't. I don't think I want to be the first person to call out like what this is. Not because people were saying that Stranger Things was queer baiting, now that other stuff. But when I see like other people do it, someone who is not of your identification or culture, who is wearing your clothing and doing other things that can be insinuated as belonging to a certain type of lifestyle or culture, and no one is saying it, is a little bit unique to me in today's time, because we call out so many other things, but we don't call out what this looks about right. I don't know what this and this is, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what all this is. I don't know who this is for, but I'm assuming this is why I missed the marketing on this, because it's all over the place. I never watched Dune because somebody told me Dune was about them searching for SpongeBob earthworms, cutting them open and drinking their blood. I said I'm good. I said I'm good. The blood gives them superpowers. I'm good. Overall, movie was boring. Not gonna lie to you. The most exciting part was when. What I will say is that the movie overall was boring, but the most exciting part for me, that had the best camera work and the most draw, was when Timothy was checking out the opponent, the Japanese opponent. After that, we lose all camera work and what made the film, what I thought would make the film great. I wish the music was more impactful. I wish the camera work was more impactful. There was some weird scene color switching at the end, which is kind of like why I had to put this in, because it went from blue to shiny, and then at the end it went like kind of back to this color. But this movie probably wasn't worth like the 70 90 million. Personally, I just didn't like the movie. I wish it was more impactful. If you compare it to Sinners, it's incomparable. It shouldn't be. There's not the amount of depth in Marty and in Sinners, totally different. How is world really? Yeah. And that's pretty much it for KayoticVerse. Like, share, subscribe.